Hello. Let's see. Okay. So I'm not hearing anything. Hmm. There you go.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, I wasn't hearing anything. Wonder if I
Yeah,
need to
we're
turn
we're
this up.
we're actually in a different session,
Oh,
but it's
sorry.
just ending. We're just no, it's okay. We're on Teams, listening to a
Ah,
different session happening right now. And then just so
okay.
you know, Lawrence and I,
So I'm not
when that
hearing
session
anything.
ends
Hmm.
at 11 in 5 minutes, we'll go into a different team session and invite people to come and
There you go.
follow the live stream of this event.
Hey, I
And
wasn't
then
hearing anything.
once we're,
Wonder if I
we're
need
going
to
to be
turn this up.
presenting uh, just some slides about what we did with AVAR and why we think it worked, etc. And then at the
Cool.
end, sometime after 10:30 or 11:30, we'll go over to the lobby, and that's where it would be great if we have more people there for discussion. Yeah, so that
Okay.
we can just kind of show people how it works. And Greg will be live streaming and wandering around the space and trying to illustrate it for people since,
So can I
yeah,
be here for this one?
absolutely, yeah.
I'll go and sit in the audience and be quiet.
Yeah, or you don't have to be quiet the whole time. This is kind of a casual thing, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for
Cool. So,
coming. Appreciate it.
oh,
Yeah.
dude, this is like the Ford assembly plant. It's the very beginning of something really big. So,
Well, I think it was remarkable. Our heads are still spinning, frankly.
and that gives you gyroscopic stability.
That's right. There you go.
If it stops spinning, you fall over. So,
That's right.
so
Exactly. Yeah.
love that spin.
Yeah. That's good.
I should let you get back into your teams. I'll just
Yep.
stand
Yeah, we'll
by,
see you in a
tell
bit.
everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Oh, look at that. Good morning. Are you voiced? You're probably in a different situation. I'll stand by.
Let me know.
Ah,
There we go.
there you are.
Yeah, I'm using a condenser and I didn't have fan power on yet.
That's necessary. Yeah. Are you able to talk, or are you in the same group as these guys?
I am able to talk. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So, amazing bleeding edge technology here for our audio world.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Um, are you guys still thinking of using it for the AES meeting coming up?
Well, coming up, it depends. We weren't thinking about it for anything specific yet because not enough people locally are in, engaged necessarily. But I see it as a more of a mid to long term situation where it's going to be obviously this is the only way it's going to work. So it's a matter of figuring out how to get all the animals onto the ark as the flood comes, and then let it come down and it becomes our new world. That's a pretty good metaphor, actually. It just came to me. Usually it's caterpillars and butterflies, but with caterpillars you have to die and melt, and then the butterfly sort of emerges. So that's people aren't really happy about having to die and melt, but sometimes it's not an option. You might be a little bit low in audio volume because you're like underneath the background noise for me. It might be me. I don't know.
Is that better?
Much better, thank you. Is it
Okay,
just
yeah.
and how am I sounding?
You sound great. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's good.
Yeah.
My phone just fell out of my pocket. Okay, well, this is exciting. I'm so glad to be invited to being in with the in crowd here. So. But you still have hand envy.
I do very much.
Evidently, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
It's a yeah, the different thing, and there's just this morning update to the Quest headset and to the PC version of this, and so it took like 45 minutes of wrangling an hour ago. Saying, oh, great. The least, I guess there's some sort of a law that the least convenient time for an update to come through.
Right.
It's like right before is inversely proportional to how important the meeting you want to meet. Right. Oh, good. Hey, look at, yay.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Jess. Dan sent me an email last night at like midnight saying maybe I should pop in.
Perfect. This is Philip.
Cool.
I don't know if you guys have met,
Hello,
become
Philip.
friends. And
Cool.
the other guys are zombified because they're in a meeting that people will come in.
Cool,
so
cool.
Come on in. Good to see you. That was a great talk you gave on Saturday. She gave a talk. Come on up.
Oh, thanks.
Here, I'll move down. There you go. So Philip is a VR designer and the progeny of Matt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do sound design. I'm actually not at a VR studio anymore, but
Hey, here's Dan.
Hello.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, everybody.
So, you know Philip?
Hi, Dan.
Yep.
Yes. Hey, Philip. Hey, Jess.
Hey,
Dan.
And everyone's zombified right now. They're in a different meeting. They'll be coming here momentarily.
Okay, cool.
But they're not embodied. There you go. So Dan's completely figured this out. I'm so proud of him.
In terms of what? Being in the wrong place?
No, being able to just the fact that you're one of our first humans of the fact that you're the first guy of our AES committee that for so long has been so Luddite to break into the next stage. So I'm super proud of you and what you're doing.
Those were two separate phrases that didn't go together.
Which two phrases?
Me, so long been a Luddite, and AES.
No. The committee has been a Luddite.
Yes.
Not you. I'm just saying that to
Sorry,
break
I'm
through.
a little testy. We're having issues with the meeting tonight. And I'm a little on edge.
Okay, well I'm trying to not touch the shiny thing, but it's all admiration. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Same to you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Well.
And it's good to get to know you guys.
And Jess as well. Yeah. Because she's going to be. This is the place where the bright light. It's like go towards the light. Oh, it's Jess. You know, in the virtual world.
My thoughts
right?
Exactly.
There you go.
Cool, guys.
Yeah.
Well.
So what is this thing today, Philip? I'm assuming you know more than we do.
It's faculty orientation, and they're just going to go over talk about AVAR for a bit and how it worked.
Okay. Yeah. And are we coming there, or are they coming here?
Yeah, I'm not sure about how exactly that's going to work. I think
I was told they're coming here after they're their meeting and their Microsoft Teams meetings ends at the top of the hour. Matt's
Okay.
going to give some slides about what happened, and we're going to go to the lobby and have conversations over there. So we
Uh-huh.
don't have to be silent, but
Okay.
it's not our show for a while. And here
Yeah.
comes somebody now. It's Aption.
Hi.
Hello.
Come on
How
in.
goes it?
Good.
Good.
And Lawrence will probably embody before too long here
Yeah.
and be able to host.
Yeah. Cool. I actually
I'm
have
Steve.
some fires that I want to put out, so I'm gonna go
Okay.
Jess.
do something.
Hello.
All right. See you,
I'm
man.
Christopher.
Yeah.
See ya.
Get out of the way here.
Yeah, I actually, I will have to jump out to. I have to do a care conference meeting with my mom's nursing home. It's like
Oh.
a quarterly thing. I'm her only advocate, so I gotta
Okay.
do it. But
All right.
I'll jump back in. It usually doesn't last too long because she's doing great. So that's good.
Well, good luck. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All
See
right.
you.
Yeah. Well, it's in like 25 minutes. So
Oh, okay. At the
Oh.
time. Cool.
yeah, just want to give a heads up because I don't know what'll be
Okay.
happening.
And Dan's still around somewhere.
Yeah, he's at the end of the line there.
What happens
Oh.
if I just put my stuff down here, Steve? Am I going to be a
Yeah.
distraction?
You'll collapse into the floor probably,
Okay.
but that's
And
okay. Well,
That's okay. Because
Yeah,
then I can
so-
be here immediately.
What do you do?
yeah.
Jess?
All right. Let's
Okay.
let's
I'm
see what
a
happens.
live sound
Thank you.
engineer and tour and production manager.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you
So-
do live sound at?
Well, I started in Minneapolis where I came up, and then I went to LA and I was on the road all over. And when I got to Seattle, I started working
That's a little
at
bit distracting,
Showbox
but
with the AEG cruise and still touring. I was just starting to get into maybe some more local broadcast stuff when everything kind of hit. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, and I've always loved studio work, and that's where I started. And I'm fascinated with spatial audio. So, and this whole world is really cool. So, yeah,
Cool. Very cool.
yeah. How about
Sounds
you?
like you found the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do game audio sound design. I'm working in Baltimore, but I'm actually in
Wow.
Seattle for the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Wild.
yeah, it's been wild.
Yeah. So, do you teach here now too, or?
No. My dad is Matt there, and he
Oh,
teaches.
cool.
I went through the program there though. Did the
Cool.
music and sound design program there.
Awesome.
Yeah, got to do a little bit of audio engineering, for learning how to set up the studio and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sure you nothing near what a live show sounds like. So.
Wow. And in live, you've only got the things you have to work with and
Right.
one chance, and
Right.
there's merit to that, but
Right.
there's also a lot to be said for being able to, work our craft in a controlled environment where you can really make some cool magic happen too.
Yep.
It's yeah, it's I like the adrenaline part of live sound, but
Yeah.
not all the time.
Right. Right.
So, yeah. Yep. But yeah, have you gotten a chance to like work on some cool stuff while you're here at least? Like pandemic wise and
Oh yeah. And I've been working from home the whole time, so it's
oh
been
good.
working out pretty well. Yeah, just the 3-hour time difference is the only issue, but it's not even a big deal. So they
Cool.
all wake up later than I do anyway, so it works out pretty well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's the company, Philip?
It's Oxide Games. They're
Cool.
they're a relatively new company, working on their first big title, in-house title. But that's still like pre-launch and pre-announcement. But they make their own game engine, which is what they're known for. And it's a super multi-threaded game engine, so they
Wow.
put more units on screen than the other game engines, and that's their kind of specialty. So.
Hmm. And so they're building something that will feature this opportunity.
Yep. Yep.
Cool. And beyond that, you can't speak because NDAs are in place.
Right. Yeah.
No worries. Let's see.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen or heard about the Players Lounge, where we make music. Lawrence
I
is.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it, and I heard. Yeah, he told me that he did some cool stuff with you, but I haven't seen any of it yet.
Well, we've got 400 videos and 2,000 songs, and we have a Matterport capture of the space.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that is? That's what they use for. We might have humans here soon. So they use for real estate walkthroughs, and we're intending to take our little dollhouse that we have that you can walk through in VR and place the videos where they would be in the room. So if you're standing where the camera is, you get to see the overlap. And yeah, there's humans here. And then make that as a app, one song that you can walk through and listen to the music for like $2.99. Wow. And then lather, rinse, repeat. And so that's a 3-year out vision that might happen in 3 months, you know.
Right. Very cool.
Okay, let's see if they're going to be embodied.
Yeah.
Hi there, welcome. And he's got hands, but no voices yet.
Hey.
Oh, there you
go. Hi. I can't pronounce your name. Go for da.
Yeah, Godfather's close enough. I'm Mapachokyo.
Ah. Welcome. Godfather. I got it. Lawrence isn't here yet. At least in spirit. Just in body.
Yeah, and Dan is
Oh, he's collapsed.
Cool over there,
yeah. What happens if I just put my stuff down? He asks.
Yeah.
And it's zombified, I think. There's going to be a whole glossary of the literature here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it probably already is. It's always in William Gibson novels. You know, it's probably all completely there.
Right.
The whole cyberspace world.
So can I see if I look at Players Lounge just on Google? Can I see some of the videos or?
Yes, you can. It's actually there's some on Vimeo. What you should look for is Ars Divina Mastering Work Pinterest. See what comes there. And so it's Mastering Work, Ars Divina. It's my Pinterest page. That's the best place to start.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing it here now. Yeah.
You're great. So go there, and if you go into Jovino Santos Neto Quartet, the smaller one, there's two. One's a square and one's a square and one's sort of a Vimeo link. Go to the Vimeo link, and the first video there is pretty representative of what we do. It's pure improv. That was the first time the keyboard player ever sat down with us. Those are the first notes that were played. Are you finding it okay? He may have ducked out to view other things.
Oh, can you?
Which I'm. Yeah, we can.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you?
I think when I tab out, it disappears.
Sure, and
as well.
that's fine. Did you get a chance to get it started?
Yeah. So I'm on the mastering work page.
Yes.
And
Okay,
I'm
down.
just looking. Thank you.
Hey, who all's here? Hi, folks. Can you guys hear me?
Okay, we'll
I'm-
do this now.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Lawrence. Steve is
Cool.
here.
All right. Let me come up here. Hi, everyone. Oh, yay. Look, we got people. Awesome. Matt Klassen, I don't know if he's quite here yet. I know his carcass is floating on by the podium there. But he
Okay.
will inhabit
And-
it shortly. Oh, yes, there he is. And somebody
Okay.
has
Yeah,
somebody
I
has
just verified
an
the
open-
live stream. It looks like the live stream is working. I can hear our own voices through there, so that's good.
Cool. And so, yeah, I'm not gonna worry about the live stream because I think it's just too much of one of too many things for me to deal with.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cool. Matt,
Yeah.
are you amplified? You got your voice amplified?
Let me check. Yep.
Okay, so let's see who we got here. I see A.P. Apchen. Who are you?
Christopher Poplin.
Christopher. Hi,
Poplin.
Christopher.
Yeah.
I'm sending you friend invites if I haven't already because it's the quickest way to. And who's Gofada?
That's Matt Pachocchio, Godfather.
Hey, Matt. Okay, I just sent you a
Hey.
friend request. And that's Greg Dixon up in the back there filming. Awesome. Hi, Philip. Glad you could come. And then, is that Jess? We're friends already, but Jess, tell me who you are again. I'm sorry. You look so familiar.
Yeah, hi, Jessica Bird, and just was at the conference last
You were at
Yeah.
AVAR. Great. Well, thanks
Right.
so much for showing up here. This is great.
Yeah,
Cool.
good to be here.
She gave a report at tea time with 20 PowerPoint slides of AVAR. You got to see
Oh,
it. It's
really?
amazing. Yeah.
How cool.
totally.
Is
Yeah,
it
that's
Jessica? Do I have that right? Jessica? Is it Jessica?
Yep.
Awesome. Well,
Or
thank you,
Jess, I
Jessica.
think.
Or Jess.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, Lawrence,
Well,
should
Matt,
we do, should we
let's
do
get
a little,
started.
a little presentation here about AltSpace and
Yeah,
what we did? et
let's do it.
cetera?
Sure.
Yeah. So welcome everybody, and we wanted to tell in this short time a little bit about what we did with AVAR, Lawrence and I, and this is the conference which we held just a week ago in AltSpaceVR. It was pretty crazy and very interesting and fun. And it's AVAR stands for Audio for Virtual and Augmented Reality. And it's an AES conference. You see the AES logo on the screen there, Audio Engineering Society
We do.
and the AVAR. Yes, was there some question? Or?
Oh, that's just
This-
Steve
The screen is
plugging.
empty.
Oh, the screen looks empty to you? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, shall we reset the space, Matt, now that everybody's here?
Might as well reset it once at least.
Yeah, I'll
This is
do
something
that.
we did a lot in the conference. Go ahead, Lawrence.
About to do it. We're resetting the space now.
I'm not. I'm getting notifications from Teams every time someone sends a message on there. Can I though? I've been trying to.
Hey, you guys, we're in.
Please. I mean, it's not. Yes, I know that I could just mute all the put my phone on silent.
Good. Okay, so we got our screen going. And by the way, this is what we had to deal with for 3 days of a conference with 200 people. It was pretty wacky. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Our live streamer is just re-entering. Greg is just coming back into the space. So,
Oh, right, of course.
and Jen Sword made it. Hi, Jen. Welcome. Come on, have a seat. Come over, sit here. And if you get to the seats and you back up into them, your avatar actually looks kind of like it's sitting down, and that way you won't block the view of people behind you. I kid you not. Yeah, you just sort of back into the seat like you're sitting down. It's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Everybody looks to see. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Lawrence, do you want to make any other introductory remarks about
No, let's just jump it because I know we're going to
Yeah.
end up running out of time. So we have a little slideshow here for you. Matt and I are going to kind of walk you through our experience of the conference, and the venue, if you will, AltSpace, and then we're going to all of us here in the space, we're going to all take the teleporter over to the DigiPen lobby, and we can actually have some impromptu conversations, and we're going to demonstrate why we think this modality is so much more effective for human interaction than a typical video conference.
All right, let's jump ahead. So AltSpaceVR, this is an innovative social VR platform. It was launched in 2015. It's ran out of funding
hey,
pretty
Matt?
quickly. Yeah.
Matt, somebody, I can hear, somebody's got an open mic so I can hear the live stream delayed, and somebody says they can't see the screen. Is it somebody in the room here? It's okay. Go ahead and give me a sad emoji face if you...
Steven, I'm trapped in the balcony and I couldn't rotate, but I think I got it now.
Oh, okay,
There he
Stephen.
is, Stephen O'Bent. Cool.
Hello, I'm trapped
There
in
he
the
is.
balcony. I don't know how to get down. But I
Oh,
can
well,
see
just
the
go,
screen.
turn around and go down the stairs. Turn around and go down the stairs and come in through the front door like a proper human being. Come on, dude.
Well, I went forward and then I was stuck.
There he goes. Look, there he goes. He's going down the stairs.
Yeah, and one thing, once
I'm
we're-
going to go guide him.
Yeah, go ahead. Once we're presenting, we'll probably just mute the
Hey,
audience
Stephen,
so that we
you
can
found
talk
it.
through the slides and then turn it back on for discussion. One reason to do that is that some people might not have headphones on, and then we get a terrible echo back and forth. So, okay. Should we go ahead and mute people, Lawrence? Because I think I'm still hearing some echo coming from
I
somebody
am
in the
too.
audience.
I'll do
Yeah,
it. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
It's me.
And how's that?
Yeah, I think that got rid of the echo. Cool.
Okay, cool.
Great. Yeah, so going back to AltSpaceVR, startup, ran out of money, typical thing, right? And it was purchased by Microsoft in October 2017. And we just started looking at this in April as an alternative modality for running the conference. We took a look at it at the recommendation of our workshops chair for the conference, which was Sally Kellaway from Microsoft. It looked pretty cartoonish and goofy to us. I think maybe especially to me, Lawrence. I don't know if it did to you so
No,
much,
me
but-
too. Me too.
Yeah,
Especially with the old avatars. These avatars were introduced
Yeah.
halfway through our process.
I really was kind of thinking, you got to be kidding that we could actually do a conference in this space. It just seemed too goofy, not appropriate for a research community, people that want to present research to each other, etc. As it turns out, they're goofy people, and they loved it. But in any case, I won't give away all the story. So we decided to adopt this in April and just go for it. Lawrence, why don't you say a few words for this?
Well, so all of our fears, it's sort of, I think of the back in my hippie days when I did the tarot card readings, there was a card called Hopes and Fears, and it's sort of the same thing. The things that you wish for are very often the things that you fear, and they're somehow intertwined. So all of our hopes and fears were realized with AltSpace. It is cartoonish and goofy. It is finicky and buggy and hard to use and crazy, and it was absolutely amazing. We ended up being able to really spend hours and hours of time in this space, really meeting people from all over the world, from Singapore to Helsinki to Tel Aviv. It was absolutely amazing, and it felt like a real conference. So we're now convinced.
Yeah, we actually believe it's a great way to do an online conference. This was not clear to us right up until the week or a few days before the conference. We didn't actually know. We were so frenzied with all of the preparations that we didn't really know what the outcome would actually be. Although one thing we can certainly say is the lead up was a lot of fun. We had to work with all the presenters. There were about 30 to 40 presenters, including keynote speakers, Lawrence, something like that.
That's right, at
workshops,
least.
people,
Yeah.
everything. And we spent up to 2 hours with each of them. I mean, some of them we might have spent only an hour with, or a half an hour, but some of them we spent 2 to 3 hours with just individual people preparing and getting all the glitches out for them, talking about their audio in the space and everything. So The one thing though that made the biggest impression on us as we were preparing, and it was kind of a selling point, really. I think if this hadn't been the selling point, we may not have gone forward with it. But we can chat in this space. We can have conversations with people that really do feel like real conversations, and that's partially because of the simple 3D audio that is implemented in this space. Like for instance, it's very simple. When your avatar is farther away from someone, they're quieter. They get louder as they approach you. And also, as you go side to side, there's just this stereo panning effect where you can tell that they're off to your right or off to your left or behind you. It's slightly quieter. Those two basic features, we call it distance attenuation of audio and then also panning. Those two very basic features already make it quite a realistic experience having conversations in the space. And that's what we were actually doing with people as we prepared for the conference, having conversations and talking about getting ready and getting everything set up. Yeah, this also, I'll just say, this was something that was very much missed in other conferences. There was a very big audio conference, IEEE, ICASP is what it's called, Acoustics and Signal Processing. Wonderful conference, lots of great content, but no real human interaction. There were chats, yes, there were chats. There were even questions that were posed through a chat and then answers came back, etc. But there wasn't any what you would call casual human interaction. And that's something that not only did we want to see, but it turns out everybody who goes to conferences pretty much, that's one of the main reasons they go, is they want to have casual chat with other people that they can talk to.
And we will get a taste of that when we're done with this little slideshow in another 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to all get a chance to that. We'll go to the lobby to do that. So right now we've got you muted just so you'll see the audio can get pretty goofy without all that prep that we did with all the presenters to make sure everybody's microphones were properly placed and they weren't using speakers and all that. So you'll get a little peek at that in a little bit.
Lawrence, should we even say anything about slides.com? We're so short on time.
No,
It may
no,
just
skip
we
it.
should
It
just
was
skip it.
a horrible
Slides-
thing. A horrible
Yeah,
thing we
slides
had
work.
to use.
Videos are problematic. Okay, next. We could spend hours on that. How about you should talk a little bit about the audio challenges.
I'd love to talk about this because it actually also applies to Teams and Zoom. And since this is a faculty meeting, and I just experienced it in the meeting we were just in, that marvelous presentation by Seth Atkinson about how to use Teams for all this. I'm telling everybody, in case you haven't figured this out already, it is incumbent on you as an online educator to get your audio act cleaned up. You have to have a decent mic, you have to have decent headphones or decent speakers, and you have to know how to use them. If you're talking to your students and you sound, distorted because your gain staging is wrong, I know this is like audio engineering, but guess what? We are all now audio engineers as online educators, and it really matters. In AltSpace, it was even more crucial because even though it's this 3D environment, the modality is primarily sound, and it's how we're communicating, and it's what makes the space effective. So that was a huge issue, and as Matt said, we spent probably dozens or hundreds of hours really with all our different presenters, if you add it all up, getting them all, even down to fine-tuning how loud they are. And having them go back to their universities and borrow microphones and preamps and audio interfaces. It was a lot of work, but it completely paid off because then we were able to actually have this conference.
I'll also add it really was a lot of fun trying to debug things. And I'll tell you my very favorite thing, and that was we noticed that, of course, it's a big deal if people come into the space and do not have headphones on because you get feedback, right? Their speakers are actually playing voices, even if they're not speaking, they're playing back the voices, of course, of other people in the space. Those are getting fed back through their microphone, and then we hear it, right? And so
it's a horrible echo.
It's a horrible echo, but the hilarious thing is that when that happens, if you're trying to diagnose, like who is it that has no headphones, we need to get over there and help them to mute and then try to fix it for them. In order to diagnose that, we actually watched for their mouth moving. We could hear our own voice coming back because you could see their mouth moving on their face with our words coming back delayed right through their avatar. It was really quite hilarious. So
Sort of
anyway,
a bizarre,
that was a
bizarre
fun, yeah.
implementation of the ventriloquism effect in a completely ridiculous manner, but
Yeah.
it was funny.
It was funny, and it sort of made the whole thing more fun to work with, really. Yeah, so we spent about 2 to 3 months preparing with presenters in here. And this, I think, I'd say that was really a catalyst for what was so effective about the conference overall, and that is that we were doing problem solving with people about something that we actually enjoyed problem solving about, audio, mostly audio, but other things, moving around, working with the slides, etc. But all of these things we were dealing with basically practical problem solving. And that was not, of course, the content of the conference. These people came to present, very sophisticated algorithms for HRTFs and 3D audio and all sorts of things. But we had a lot of fun doing this with people, and it really struck me. That's one thing that struck me only kind of after the conference was finally over. We figured out, like, why was this so successful, and why did people, why were they so tolerant of all the glitches that we had? And I think it was because it was actually fun tinkering with everything and trying to solve problems together. This is more on the same theme. Lawrence, do you want to say anything about the laser pointer?
Oh yeah, well maybe you could. Do you have it there, Matt? You can pick up. So in the podium
I'll
that
see
Matt's
if I can
standing
get it.
behind, there are two items. There's a little microphone on top, and then inside there's a laser pointer. So Matt, don't point at anybody's eyes. Oh, look out! Oh my God! So the laser pointer really works great, as you can see. And many of our presenters used it in the way that you use a laser pointer in the real world. But what we ended up doing is, ow, Matt! Oh my gosh, we
Sorry,
just
I'll
had
turn it off.
so much fun throwing the mic around. We had just it's silly little things like that somehow makes everybody comfortable and happy, and it speaks to the notion of play as being a super effective means by which to get something done.
I already just talked a little bit about this, right? The surprising effectiveness of the very basic 3D audio. There are many much more detailed and interesting things that you could do, but the fact that it worked with just those two basic features, distance attenuation and panning, was really quite remarkable.
And I think looking forward to the future as the technology matures and as we all get used to it, it will indeed start to approach the Star Trek holodeck. We're still in very, very early days, and you could see it as quite crude. But even with those basic implementations, we're starting to approach something that will get us past the flat screen Hollywood Squares video conference.
We had kind of a major train wreck on the first day, which actually is all recorded for posterity and still on the live streams, which are posted if you go to our conference page. It's all there. I haven't brought myself to go back and look at any of that yet, but train wreck on the first day was the keynote speaker couldn't see his own slides. He had to go.
Well, he
in and out
couldn't
of
get into
space.
the room.
Yeah, that's right. Before that, he couldn't even get into the room. And then by the time that was done, finally we got that working. But then we went to the panels room, and because they have to clone the spaces or have mirror rooms due to overload of too many avatars in one room, it gets very complicated. And that feature was completely broken in the panels room, so we all had to come back in here or in a room like this and do the panel discussion. It was quite a crazy amount of glitches on the very first day, but we pressed on. Second day,
And everybody rolled with it.
Yeah.
Everybody was very tolerant.
Talk about the valve panel that you introduced on the second day, Lawrence.
So back when in the fall when we started, we said, okay, we're going to try to do AVAR 2020. 2018 was a success. We're going to do it again. And we got our Emerald sponsors, which you can see over on the wall where I'm standing here. Valve and Facebook Reality Labs came in at our highest sponsorship level. And so we met with Emily Ridgway, who's on the audio team at Valve, and she gave us a 2-hour tour of Valve and the Index and her role in it. She agreed to be, initially was going to be a keynote speaker, and then eventually decided it would be better just to have the Valve audio team as a panel discussion. And so that was on day 2. But before we were virtual, we said, well, this is going to work. But once we decided to go virtual, then we had to assemble this team and pull them into our panel space. And we had a dry run with the whole team here. Well, not in this room, but one just like it, but with a desk with 5 seats for panelists. And what was that, about a month ago, Matt, that we did that test with that team? And it was probably the most fun. One of the funnest events we had was spending an hour with the entire Valve team here in AltSpace and having them throwing microphones and laser pointers around. And Emily had a mustache. She put a big mustache on her avatar just because she could. It was fantastic. And their panel discussion, which they ended up giving, was extraordinary.
We had our coffee breaks and chats over in what we call the DigiPen lobby. This is a space that we'll show you, designed by one of our students, Smithson. Really quite remarkable, and we have a lot of ideas about how we could use that particular space going forward, but let's save that until we get over there. But the chats in themselves were just fabulous. We had so many nice chats with people, attendees at the conference, speakers, and the energy level just kind of got higher and higher as we went towards the 3rd day. But why don't you say a few things about the empathetic technology, Lawrence, on the 3rd day, and I'll add to it.
So our third keynote speaker was Dr. Poppy Crum. She's the lead scientist at Dolby Laboratories, and she was going through some just personal changes, moving with a young daughter, and so getting just organizing it in time of pandemic was a nightmare, but it all came together. She gave an absolutely fantastic keynote speech on day 3, and you can see that again at just Google AVAR 2020, AVAR space 2020. You'll get to our homepage, and all the live streams are there. So that's the plenary session day 3, and her talk was on empathic technology, which when she first told us what it was, I really had no idea what she was even talking about, but it turns out that it was very relevant to the experience that we were all having within AltSpaceVR, and it's the way that audio and video are handled within the space. What else about that, Matt, about her keynote?
Well, yeah, it also tied together everything from the user experience to some of the big algorithmic debates in 3D audio, which are do we use the personalized HRTF, which is your head related transfer function? All very, very technical questions about optimization and efficiency in computing, etc. But it brings together all of these things in a very interesting way under that heading, empathetic technology. And she had so many interesting demos in that talk as well.
And really recontextualizing some of the talk, because at a scientific paper presentation, obviously the scientists are focusing very much on the scientific details of how we perceive, how we localize sounds. And Poppy's talk really sort of took a level up from the balcony and said, if we have all of these sensors in the world that are hypersensitive to everything we're doing, she talked about sensory sovereignty, cognitive sovereignty, issues that were just relevant and mind-blowing, that were then followed up on a panel discussion, again on day 3, part of the plenary of day 3, and you can watch that on the YouTube stream if you care to.
Yeah. So once the conference was winding down, we got thinking about it more, and it really is the case that if we compare the conference that we just had here in AltSpaceVR a week ago, if we compare it to the one we did 2 years ago, physically hosted by DigiPen, but it was a very successful conference, that AVAR 2018, but this one actually had a sort of a higher level of enthusiasm, no question about that, and more of a human experience, which was a very bizarre thing to say. But I can't actually emphasize that enough, and that is that the human experience at AVAR 2020 came from all of these human interactions that were going on. People became more familiar with each other through all of the troubleshooting that we did. And we just actually had a blast together. It's very remarkable, but also very odd. And if you're hearing this for the first time and you're seeing these goofy avatars, I'm sure you probably don't believe me when I'm saying that. Why would you? But basically,
Right.
this was a very human conference. It's a bizarre thing, but that's what
And
it was.
we're really, I mean, I would say that Matt and I both were skeptical of the technology to begin with. We were both, I would say, fundamentally skeptical about this kind of thing because it can easily sort of fall into some sort of gimmick thing. But we had several, Ivan Tashev, the lead researcher at audio research at Microsoft Research, made the comment in the DigiPen lobby. He said, he said, this is why you go to a conference. Obviously, the papers, the workshops, the keynotes are great, but you really go to hang and meet other people, your colleagues. And that happened more at AVAR 2020 for me personally than it did at 2018, which was great already. But I had long conversations with people all over the world. It was absolutely astounding. I felt like I made friends with these researchers from all over Europe and other parts of the United States. It was really very extraordinary and unexpected.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of these
Yeah.
these points already. So let's talk a little bit about, we want to go over to the AVAR lobby and just demonstrate chatting in groups over there.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up.
But let's just say there are many ways to extend this kind of experience to classes. Some of the ideas we just kind of jotted down here. Oh, and by the way, I did hold class meetings in a space like this over the summer, a few of the class meetings in my summer course. But basically, it puts people on the same footing. Oddly, in many cases, you need a good voice, but you don't need a whole lot going on with your visuals in order to have a great experience. And you often don't need to see somebody's face. That doesn't always apply, but of course it can be true in general. The chat is really what sells us on this space, for sure, as we've said
And
over and over.
by that we mean talking to people. We're not talking about text chat. We're talking about actually speaking with other people and being able to talk on top of each other. That's really the point.
It also it's a very odd thing. It's hard to describe. But after we started preparing in this kind of space, we realized that when we went away from it, we had the feeling that we had gone somewhere, which you don't generally have when you're looking at a teleconference screen. You know you were sitting there in front of your laptop and looking at a bunch of boxes, but you don't feel like you actually went somewhere or had an experience that you can not only remember what was said, but you can attach some space to it. It's a hard thing to describe, but it really was quite remarkable. We had that physical memory. So, you want to add anything else, Lawrence, or should we just?
No, I suggest you guys all follow me and don't use your My Events manager. I actually want you to follow me down here into the coat room, and we're going to take the teleporter. There's a teleporter out there. We're going to take the teleporter to the DigiPen lobby. So, follow me. Right this way. Just step into the blue light. Go ahead. I'm going to wait here. Make sure everybody makes it. Hey, Philip. Come on,
Yeah,
Chris. You can do it. There we go.
ahead.
Go ahead, Stephen. Don't worry. It doesn't
Dan.
hurt a bit. And there's light on the other side. Go ahead. Step into the teleporter. You too, Greg. You can do it. Oh, you're going to, yeah, you're going to get.
Oh, did you say?
Go
you're
ahead,
muted?
Jess.
Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't turn off the mute. Yes, we'll do that. Thank you.
I did. I unmuted.
You did?
I
You
unmuted.
did. Yeah, I can hear you, Dan.
So that people move forward. There you go. So people don't end up on top of you.
Cool, that's the spawning point.
Yeah.
Okay, how did you wave? How do you move your arms?
By having
Hey,
not being
Dan.
on a PC.
How you doing?
How's it
By
So
not being on a PC. Oh, well, there
Right.
you go.
We have a headset
too? Thank
that
you
has
for the
handles,
invite. This is really cool.
and
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Good to be here again.
Hi.
All right. We made it.
Great. Yay.
Woohoo!
Form our circle.
Lawrence, good to see you.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for coming, man.
Oh, it's a great pleasure. Yay, there finally. First time to talk to you here.
We should lead a few people down the hall.
Sure.
And
Jen
just
Sword,
sort of
hi
talk.
there.
Hey, Lawrence, how are you doing?
Places.
Well, great. How are you? I'm so glad you made it in. This is
I'm
awesome.
we
glad
go.
I went to the right. I came here first.
Checking out the audio in the hall, I
isn't it?
think.
And oh, by the way, you should make
Recording
friends. So
over there.
if you mouse over
Uh,
Oh,
to
it's the audio
somebody,
difference there.
Yeah, I see
you
Rachel.
can you.
Do you
and
have
you
a
can- but I'm
microphone
saying you
turned on,
can
Steve, or
see
are
the
you-
little plus symbol over their head,
Yeah,
and then they'll have to accept your request.
So
Once
that
you
means
do that,
somebody
notice
needs to
now.
stay
Yeah,
there.
no, it's all about making noise now in here. We should definitely make
Okay.
a lot
Oh
of
yeah, the
noise.
3D
Yeah.
is impressive. Okay. And then I can tell who people are by scrolling over them.
Except you can't tell. Yeah, you can't tell me. I'm Christopher Poplin.
Oh, hi.
See, I told you, Chris, you're supposed to
Yeah.
put your real name
I-
as your display name.
I couldn't figure out how to change it after I read your email.
Oh, yeah. It's just in the web interface. The easiest thing to do is go into AltSpaceVR.
Oh,
just
okay.
you can edit your profile in there. Just don't change your username because that's what we need in order
Used to invite.
yes, give you admission essentially to these events because they're private events. Otherwise, if you make them public, you get trolled by like 7-year-old kids and stuff.
Whoa.
Took a bird's eye photograph of the parking lot, and then as you look out through the windows, you see different
Oh
portions
yeah,
of it.
that's
And
super cool.
It's quite
existential
remarkable.
look.
Because we're
Wow.
hearing people way down there.
But
And
as
in
far as
real
I know,
life,
Pardon-
this venue,
Yeah.
AltSpaceVR doesn't. I mean,
Pardon
you
me, Dan.
either-
I have to take
You
this
can
call
change
really
it.
quick.
I don't
Greg.
think you.
I'll be
I think
back.
changing your
Good.
display
Okay.
name is simply
You
a
too.
matter of going to
Yes,
that
I can.
profile menu that
Jen
you went
is,
in
yeah,
earlier.
Just fine.
Um,
I'm
and
doing
you
well.
just- you just edit
This
it
is
and
kind
you
of
can
cool.
change your display
It's
name. But
interesting
if you don't
hearing
want
all
to,
the different conversations going on.
But I'm glad you made it.
I'm on the me page in the app.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't
kind of
do it there.
like I can see
don't
like I
believe
can
you have to do
block
that from
you
a
or mute
browser
you.
outside.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be kind of nice to say, okay, I
and
want
you
to
don't need
focus
to
on
do
you.
it now. I'm just saying that even for me now, I have to remember that, go
Anyway,
Godfather,
very cool.
Godfather is you right now. Now I'll remember it. So, but anyway,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that.
a little trouble getting up the stairs in the room. I was wondering if that was
Yeah,
because
it's very
of
impre- does
my
it-
bubble
you can
or
go
someone
upstairs
else's
and,
bubble.
like-
There was somebody sitting in
No.
the very front
Campus
row,
is in
right
there.
down at the
Philip,
bottom.
isn't this wild?
And I was
bubble-
wondering if there was a bubble that was
No.
stopping that.
no, the bubble doesn't
Uh-huh.
really stop anything. Watch.
We
So
can.
here, watch this.
It's fun here.
So
Gotcha.
see, I can you can walk through me. Go ahead, just walk through me. So
You can go up the stairs.
it's,
Right.
if you
Were
turn your bubble
Yeah,
off
were you turning around? I mean,
You can climb on
and
the
then
wall.
do the same thing,
yeah, go ahead.
it's just a little different. It's not
Yep.
that different.
Got it.
It's just a visual thing. It doesn't
Then you'll
affect.
fall
It's
back
not like
to the ceiling
collision or
because the
anything.
ceilings are
Oh.
not opaque
One interesting
from
thing
above.
But the walls
That's
are
risky.
thick enough. The walls are thick
surprised we
enough.
got
It gets a little more muffled.
It-
I
But
have
not
an
really.
Oculus.
It
It's
was
hooked
slightly.
up,
So if I talk, let me try it.
The Rift.
Sorry.
hooked up to
So
my
if I'm
PC,
sitting here
but I
and I'm
haven't configured
sorry,
it for the
I don't know if
current
I can
room.
make it turn slowly or
okay.
not.
I was using my
I don't know if
Quest,
it's
but the Quest
making any
power
difference
died.
in the
So I tried
audio as I'm
launching
talking
the
to
2D
you.
mode, right? Except that if you have
Yeah,
an
it's-
Oculus that is plugged in,
I think it
even
was
if
something,
the
Right.
Oculus
yeah.
software
So
isn't
how did
started,
this work
Yep,
it will
it'll-
try to
it'll-
run it on
I mean, you
that,
guys were
and
talking
if the
obviously
Oculus
about
software
audio.
isn't started,
It's
it will
space
crash.
was
And I know
reused.
one,
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the
it's-
concerns
so,
of it is
I
how
tried to
Teams and
pull the
Zoom
USB
plays audio.
Okay,
How does that work
the
for
Oculus, and then everything
playback of
Yeah, I had the
music?
same thing. I have the DigiPen Library's Valve Index here, and I set it up, and I was awed, and it was amazing. But to actually administer the conference and do what we had to do, I needed to be in 2D mode because I've got 2 computers and 3 screens, and I had to physically disconnect the the index before I could get 2D mode working properly again.
Who modeled this space?
This is one of our students, AltSpaceVR.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
a senior in the
Right,
CSDA
for sure.
program, and he got the floor
Okay.
plans from
All right. Well, I'm
Melbourne.
gonna go explore.
Um,
Okay.
from facilities,
Okay.
and he
Bye.
used the Hammer world editor that's
There isn't
part
really
of
much going on
Half-Life
other than that, but I think what we'd love to do is get some more acoustic tools into this
Ha.
space as well, especially the walls as barriers, occlusion, acoustic occlusion is what we would call
Hi,
it.
Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And babies.
And baby.
Whoa.
I'm babies.
Everyone's personal space. Things are very.
Apparently, you can be trolled by 7-year-olds
Hey,
without them being on
Jen. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Glad you could join us.
Yeah. Once I figured it out and went to the right place.
There we
Cool. Yeah. So you're running on a PC from home.
Steven
I
has
am.
turned over his headphones to his wife.
I had to
because
borrow
I'm so perplexed by this
I had to
whole
borrow a
situation.
DigiPen PC in order to do all this stuff because I generally don't use.
I mean,
One
we
thing that
can
I'd
be.
like to see is a slider that lets you adjust your inverse square law audio, so that if I was talking with you, I'm still hearing these other
We
guys
actually had,
a little bit.
audio professionals thinking, oh yeah, I'll just come in on my lightweight laptop that works fine for Zoom, but didn't quite cut it. And then once you start losing cycles on the graphics, then your audio starts to suck too. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is a relatively new laptop. In fact, I was going to go into the office and pick up my PC because it won't.
And I've got.
This laptop won't run any of the Unreal
Oh yeah.
projects that students do.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, if I really actually want to play student games, I'm going to have to
Thing.
go get a better
With,
machine. It seems to be running this just fine.
and
Do you know,
Hey-
is it, I mean,
Hey,
is it
Rachel.
Unity?
Unmute yourself and say something, Rachel.
Rachel doesn't have a mic.
Oh, she doesn't have a mic. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. Sorry about that.
Rachel is mute.
Okay, she is mute. Okay, sorry.
She is mute. All right. So,
She's not
how
always
much
like that.
How much of DigiPen did you guys model here?
This is pretty much the whole first floor. Yeah, and so basically you can go down like the hall. He didn't model the rooms, the lecture rooms, or the other studios and things on the floor. So I think he actually did, though, create even the offices in the sound lab area.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, so we don't actually have, Plato and those other lecture halls. But I mean, it was an amazing start down this process, and we were just really excited that we could actually use it for the conference. And so we had something like 40 to 50 people in the space here chatting in little groups like this, and then you can hear other people talking a little farther away, and it's pretty workable.
Yeah,
Have you found the 2D version workable for something like a class? Like, is it reliable enough that you would trust to use it for a class?
Yeah, actually, all of the versions, for instance, all of the HMDs, the VR headsets, they all have certain peculiarities about their use, but in some ways they're even more reliable than the 2D mode. But I think overall, yeah, the 2D mode is pretty much rock solid. The thing that's not rock solid is just the reliability of the software. Like you once you're in, it's pretty good, but once displaying slides with media in them, that's one thing that we were kind of hinting at didn't say that a lot about it, but that's a real problem. And they're actually changing. They announced that they're dumping slides.com at the end of August, so very soon. And we don't even know what their next solution is going to be for slide decks. But yeah, slides.com was pretty difficult to work with overall. I would expect that since it's a Microsoft-owned company now, that they should at least do a PowerPoint integration. I think.
And Rachel, Dan graciously joined our volunteer team, bought an Oculus Quest. Is that correct? Just to
Yeah.
you want to go see Newton? Yeah. Rachel says hi, Dan. She wants to go see Newton. That's her room. She in the real world, in the non-virtual
cool.
reality. Rachel designed and built this beautiful room on the second floor, which you can't get to. Rachel Ott hasn't modeled that part of the campus yet. And it's a meeting space for the teams. Rachel's specialty is team dynamics and high performant teams. So she manages the student team. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be It's just the difference. It's just such a cool thing. Really excited about this. Hey, Greg. So
Lawrence,
you're still, yeah, go ahead, Dan.
What's the physical capacity of people that this AltSpace environment world can handle?
Well, so each room is different. They set that on the back end somehow,
Yes.
and we sort of negotiated with them because they don't want, they want to protect their brand. They don't want people to come in to AltSpace and go, this sucks. Isn't it? So, here, let me tell you, if you go to your events, my events, and then if you look in the upper right-hand corner of each event, it says, like if you look at AVAR Lobby, it says 12/60. Do you see that?
Yeah, so it would be nice to just be able to say, hey, I want to actually have my radius be a little bit more specific to me.
Sure. Can I say on adding 6 foot?
So that's sort of
actually reflect all the sound like they normally would. So, so yeah, that would be nice to have as well. So that if you go into a small room, immediately you get a really big reduction on the conversations like right outside the room.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, both mats. Is this? I'm assuming this is not open source. So this is Microsoft right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Is it
So
still
I'm just, like,
actively
wondering,
being
like-
developed?
It
What was
doesn't.
that,
It
Is it
doesn't.
still actively
Like it
developed?
doesn't connect to like
Yeah.
any Microsoft like Office accounts or like pull up Microsoft content. Like it doesn't seem like it's integrated into that. I think they just bought the team and the product and the company. So far.
Yeah, and
I'm
they've
wondering, like,
been
how-
severely understaffed too. I expect to see a big surge in
They need
activity.
interns.
Yeah, they need interns and a lot of professional staff that they haven't had quite yet. But I think the fact that they've done all these conferences since March, and there's just a lot of activity, I don't see why they wouldn't just kind of really make a surge forward and do a lot of integration with other Microsoft products and everything. I wish actually they would also extend and include a Mac 2D mode. I think that would be a really smart thing for them to do.
This is me turning in a huff. Oh, Mac.
Taking a little bit of my own kind of a total guess at the Microsoft culture. They were pushing HoloLens really hard, and I know that there was a lot of pain there and a lot of eventual reorgs and senior management shifts and so on. And obviously, the HoloLens isn't being pushed as hard right now. I think there's still, as I think a lot of us were wondering, like even when we were working on it, because I was on one of the related teams back in like 2012, and it's like the hardware expectations were crazy, right? Of what it was going to be what the hardware development was going to happen in what amount of time, and so I'm wondering if the way that tends to go is once somebody gets burned at like a senior management level, it becomes a little bit of a bad word to be working on that for a little while until it eventually cycles around again. So I hope that's not what happened here, where kind of HoloLens kind of fizzled for us, so let's VR teams aren't cool right now. I hope that's not the case, but that could be the case.
Yeah,
there's a lot of activity on the HoloLens team. That seems to be really surging forward.
That's great
now.
to hear, because they went through some tough times.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like right now, especially, encouraging people to be in some kind of VR or AR is because we're all sitting at home staring at a computer screen.
Sure.
You guys were commenting on how it was much more interesting to be, in this world than it is to be just like at a conference where you're talking or chatting with people. And some of that, I think, is because you're actually doing something, right? You're having to walk, move, do an expression.
Yeah, it's a bizarre thing, right? Yeah,
Well,
you get that weird sort of physical memory of the space in addition to the fact that you had an exchange with people, verbal exchange.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, there's that physicality of doing something. Well.
Yeah. Right.
No, I'm just wondering. Like, I know it's not obviously open source, but it's something like it would be very cool if we could do add-ons or plugins for something like this.
Oh, you can actually. We should actually advertise this to the students. There's something called the what is it, Lawrence? What's the
Oh.
acronym now? But anyway, it's an SDK that's based on JavaScript and other things. And you can actually already, there are tutorials online where you can like write tic-tac-toe, write a graphic version, 3D VR version of tic-tac-toe.
It's the
and install
MRE
it.
SDK.
Yeah, MRE, Mixed Reality Extensions is what it's called.
It's meant to define interactions in a space, right? Like it's not like adding features to AltSpace. It's creating interactions you can do in a, like if you want to be able to pick up a basketball and throw it through a hoop and it'll actually keep score, that's how you would do that, right?
Right. Yeah, it's
Right.
developed in
But you
Neatlight.
can do entire applications with
Oh, wow.
with graphics and everything inside the space. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's very open-ended. If you just look at the AltSpaceVR developer portal, it's quite impressive, and there's a lot of action. And AltSpace just put out a call. They're doing Burning Man. They're doing an AltSpace for Burning Man this year, and they put out a call to the whole community. They said and they're just looking for volunteers. They're not paying anybody. They just want volunteers to come and help them build Burning Man. And it's like. It's happening very soon, and it's going to be massive. It's massive, and they're just dealing with it. They're expecting to have a lot of people participate.
I'm of course just laughing at a lot of Burning Man is drugs and being naked and being in the heat. It's
Right.
just, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
That is
Exactly.
pretty
Bugs.
Yeah.
You can still do that from home.
You, I know it adds a new dimension of it being at home to have that happen for sure.
Just don't freak
For
out
sure.
from being under a helmet. You see,
Right.
it
Right.
can cause another bad trip. And it's still the Burning Man is open already. I went and went around the desert, thanks to Jess. Jess told us about it.
Is it still under construction, or is it actually?
Yeah, well, and they've got a bunch of these transporters into different worlds. So there's like 24 different worlds that you can go and meet with people in if you wanted to. So this is such a seed to a new orchard that's about to happen here, and all the fruit is going to be amazing. And I'd say that Lawrence and Matt have made an excellent first planting and an excellent way of, this is the way you do conferences in AltSpace and therefore in VR. Because
By the way, this is Steve Turnage. For those of you who don't know Steve, he's an evangelist for Lawrence and myself. So he's an AES member, a very devoted AES person and good friend.
And very active with the Pacific Northwest section, as is Greg Dixon, our cinematographer here. And I'm realizing that it's 12:02 p.m., so we should probably let people go and maybe let Greg finish end the live stream. For everybody who showed up in AltSpace, thank you so much. It is a little bit of a threshold. You have to make that extra effort. I hope you all felt that it was worth it, and we are very grateful that you did that. For everybody out watching on the live stream, thank you. I hope you got a little glimmer into what this is all about. It's all, as Steve Turnage says, it's all possibility at this point. It's all free too, so boy,
That's pretty cool.
turning DigiPen students loose on the AltSpace developer portal, I think I'm hoping to see. We will leave this DigiPen space open for the time being. So if anybody is watching online is interested in joining us, send Matt Klassen or me, Lawrence Schwedler, email with your AltSpace username. We'll add you to the group so you'll have access to these events, and you can come and explore Ott Smithson's amazing simulacrum of the DigiPen campus.
It's pretty cool. So I did have like if anybody, I know people are leaving to go to lunch. I did have kind of an audio related question.
Sure.
For any of you audio related people. Which is right, and I think it's just that we're not noticing it. Like, what's the latency been like? In other words, I mean, my other hobby, which is singing in a choral group or singing in quartets.
Stephen and I, Stephen, tell her what we just did.
Where's Stephen?
He's over there.
Yeah, Stephen.
He's probably
Stephen
muted.
O'Ben?
Yes, he's muted.
Oh, okay. Stephen? What did you and
we sang around. We sang "Row, Row, Row Your Boat," and it went okay with the two of us. So I would be excited to try it with more.
I would expect vocal harmony would be pretty, like the latency sensitivity there is so tight.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
That'd be pretty tough.
I
yeah,
think
no,
you
no,
guys
I
were just
agree.
very what do you call it? You overlaid your optimism onto your empirical experience because latency is something that we have not conquered. AltSpace has definitely not conquered it. I think it's more the 3D, the panning and attenuation that lets us approach something closer to normal conversation. But trust me, latency definitely exists, and simultaneous musical performance requires less than 30 milliseconds of it, and nobody. So anyway, that's kind of a different thing.
Have you seen it from? I know Jam Kazam just pushed out like more localized ISP interactions to help people who are physically closer have lower latency. Have you seen any improvements from that?
I saw your link, but I haven't gone back into Jam Kazam to try it. It's very exciting, but there are just certain physical limitations. At some point, it's actually the speed of light if you're talking about dealing with people from the European continent or Asia. But certainly within a 500-mile radius, if you have all that software properly configured and the right hardware, and all of those things, it is possible to do that. But that's kind of a specialized application that musicians have to really want to pull off. So Jen, I can talk you offline more about that if you want.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, thanks. Cool, thanks,
but I'm
guys.
hoping that faculty does something with this space, and students. So
well,
anyway,
I'd love to. I mean, I was talking to Matt. It'd be great to have you guys come to like the different game classes, but ours in particular, and like do a demo and see if people are interested. Because I think it's cool. I think students are just not aware of it, right? So.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't know how much they would do, but
Matt held some classes for his summer class at in a templated event. It wasn't here in the DigiPen campus, but it worked. You said it worked quite well, right, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was only a small class, like 5 students, but basically I presented some slides and we had a discussion, and it really worked fine.
Yeah, so Rachel and Jen both, and Matt, you guys will talk about it next whatever meetings.
Yeah.
We've all got our hands full right now, so we're really not proposing that anybody take on some big new task with yet another modality. Maybe we didn't get teams working first, but I would love to explore this, even this semester, and I think we just pointed Ott at this, and the next thing we knew, he had built us a campus. So students do have that. Seen some of them have that capacity to do sort of amazing things without even much encouragement. So let's show it to them and see what they do.
Yeah, let's chat about that, because with 400 they're going to be figuring out in the first week or so, among kind of the sky's the limit, what technology and what area they want to go into. So Jen,
that's a great idea. Because it's
even
Unity.
Just doing something like super low key, like just creating a room and inviting them to it, and then like a week from Friday, just while they're still figuring things out.
Sure. What? Yeah, you're talking about Game 400, right, Matt?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's the Unity uploader. So I know Ott used a very non-standard pipeline. He used the Hammer, Valve's Hammer, which is the Half-Life Alyx editor, world editor.
Right,
but and then from there he used the Unity uploader. But that's not the only pipeline. Although it worked for him, so students could do that too. But we would love to see, student projects. I just think it would be a really cool thing. So let's talk about it.
So Matt and I will talk to whoever, whether that's Matt or Lawrence or whomever, about maybe seeing, can we get some students in if they're interested next Friday during the lab time, and they can explore it.
Yeah, I'm totally open on Fridays, by the way, too. So it's cool.
Oh. Well, it's nice if you CC both of us, but But let Matt be the point man on that. He's got Fridays wide open, or not wide open, but he has some time on Fridays. So we're happy to add people to the group so they can access the space.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great. Cool. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay. I'm going home.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Lauren, stick around for 1 second.
Oh, okay. Here.
I need to get your record. Just tell me how I can get your record.
Okay. Yeah. I just bought a copy of my second record.
Greg, you can probably go ahead and stop the live stream, I think.
So,
oh yeah, Greg, go ahead and do that if you would.
We could drive to the bottom of your
Oh no.
driveway.
No, you're not